Right. Hello and welcome to another interview. This is a special interview and it's going to be in multiple parts going forward. Um, John Golden from SalesPOP, online sales magazine, and Pipeliner CRM. And I'm delighted to have my friend and colleague and the CEO and founder of Pipeliner CRM with us today. And we're going to have this is going to be a wide ranging interview. It's going to be, as I said, it's going to be multiple interviews over a period of time because I feel like we have some messages and things that we really want to bring to the world, and we want to start a conversation. So we're going to be interested in your feedback. So a few years back, Nicholas, you remember we went through this process of we wanted a new way of describing what we do, not describing our product, but describing our philosophy on business and how we work with people and how our product can actually facilitate this. And we came up with Win Together. Because we believe that in that the essence of true and fair business and better relationships and longevity and all is based around both sides feeling like they came away with the fair deal, not the win lose that a lot of people like promote and think, oh, I got one over on you, therefore that makes me even cooler. We disagree with that. So that's what I just wanted to start talking about today. And when you think of win-win, right, what does that mean to you?
Yeah. Well, first, thank you. And I wanted to start with just telling the audience please be forgivable to me with my language skills. My son, who is a high schooler, he said, "Puppy, you don't speak English." Yeah. I try my best. Or I definitely have not the accent of Arnold Schwarzenegger, but maybe he speaks better English than myself, or even with a different accent. And so I'm trying my best. So be patient with me, okay? I try everything to come up and come to the point. I think today the big challenge in everything that we see are not only in our industry, because in the SaaS business or in the CRM industry, there is some losers. And the losers that you see in society can, like what we experienced this week, what is our horrific week in Los Angeles, or it's devastating and everything, is that there was yesterday a guy who tried to basically set on fire a whole neighborhood.
Mhm.
Why? Because he's a loser. Well, I'm not testifying what he did or what he tried to do, not at all, but it shows we have too many losers. And because when you lose anything, you don't care if you lose more. Yeah.
Mhm.
So people are getting irrational in their activity, in their behavior, in everything what they do, and so therefore, our something is wrong in our society, and so we have to change that. And in my opinion, we found together, if you remember, a couple
Yep.
of years ago to the process, our win together is not only a nice tagline, a nice slogan. It is profound. It's deep. And it covers not only our industry, not covers our approach to our customers and how we want to behave with them and how we want to interact with them. It's much deeper in that area. It covers almost everything in society, because if we have a lot of people that lose, we will have instability. We have in our neighborhoods problems. We have in our society instability in so many areas, and the cost factor is going up.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so we have to change. And in my opinion, I always say, we live in a very small on a small planet.
Yeah.
Today we have discovered the universe. It's fantastic, but I don't want to live there because it's cold, it's dark, and fucking freezing cold. Yeah, who wants to be out there? I don't also don't want to go as one of the first people to the Mars. Maybe there want or some people there, because then there is no green, there is no
Mhm.
jumping into the water, there is no sunshine, there is no walking around with other masks. So I feel we have to learn to live here on Earth, and win together is basically an approach that are when you win and I win. or you would not harm me.
Yeah.
It would be stupid to do that. And so it's in every area. We have to come up with the sense. And right now we have in our society a small portion who is winning. There is
Mhm.
only really a
Yeah.
small portion who's winning. There is some people, they know they have, first of all, access to more money. And I'm not against, I'm a
Sure.
capitalist. Yeah. So
Mhm.
don't get me
Sure.
wrong. Yeah. I'm absolutely for, I'm an entrepreneur, and I came to America to build this company. And so I want to get a lot of that really successfully done. But as I see, there is a small number of people that are winning, and there is more and more people losing.
Yeah.
And that is dangerous for everything what we do, because it is who wants to live in a neighborhood where you are the only one?
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to me, Nicholas, that people have gotten this scarcity mindset, right? Where and a lot of the win lose comes from that. It's like not having an abundant mindset. So saying like, if we get into a negotiation, or if I'm going with you, uh, you can't win as well as me, because there's not enough winning to go around, right? And so I have this mindset that there's a finite amount, so I need to grab it for me and you need to lose, because if you win I lose. So it's not this idea of there's enough for us all and we can come to reasonable and balanced agreements on things. And I think that's a mindset that has to change. We have to start thinking of things in abundance as opposed to scarcity.
Yeah, it's basically, when you see, when you feel the glass is half empty, you
Mhm.
grab the glass, because when you have only one glass, you want to drink the glass if there is no other water, because you feel, shit, if
Yeah,
I'm not drinking, I'm losing. Yeah. And
yeah.
this, exactly, this mindset is like, but this is greed in some form too.
Mhm.
Yeah?
Sure.
It's like, oh, I'm not getting that. I need this
Mm.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, you don't need that. We have abundance compared to hundreds and thousands of years before us. Yeah.
Mhm.
uh, it's impossible right now to go to a supermarket and you don't know which kind of yogurt you want. Yeah. You're lost in that area. You cannot taste everything. What kind of cheese you want, or this one. You see, we there is a small portion compared to the whole world who's winning, and more are losing.
Mhm.
And the winners getting less people, and
Yeah.
the losers getting more. So
Yeah.
numbers, this this doesn't eat up, so it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, I know, absolutely, and it's the other part is I think we live also in a very short-sighted culture too, shortcut, short-sighted. So rather than me engaging, say, with you in a business negotiation, thinking, I want you to be my customer for the next 5 years, right? I want you to be so, and that we're going to do a deal that makes you really happy. Instead, most people go, I'm going to get this deal right in front of me right now, and I'm going to grab everything I can out of it. And I'm not even going to think about the future. And it's such a short sighted mindset.
Yeah, it's first of all, we have to understand that the priorities in different ages are different.
Yeah.
People have different priorities. Yeah, the older you get, you realize, oh wow, I don't need that anymore. And so uh, our system is screwed up. That's
Mhm.
my summary of everything
Yeah.
right now. I feel our system is screwed up, and we have to have a form of a reset.
Yeah.
If what society would need is that your operating system, like on the computer, you have too many viruses.
Yeah.
And the viruses on the computer systems, one day when you feel the system is not any longer working, what do? You reset the computer and start the operating system new. We need an operating system setup. In the old days, and maybe this is something that could happen, because we see a reset this week in the Palisades.
Hmm.
It was unthinkable that a whole town with thousands and thousands of structure buildings and people, 30,000 or more, are gone and cannot come back for years. It will
Hmm.
take years to rebuild. That is a reset. This is a
Yeah.
total reset of a whole community. Yeah. The question is, what is the reset? Do we learn something out of it? But the whole society needs a reset. And I hope in the old days, the reset was, to be honest, in the old days was many times a war.
Mm.
Then people were resetting. Their the,
Yeah.
the values, the principles, everything in that. I hope we don't have for the whole world to go to a war, what is possible today, yeah, because there's crazy people who are leading us into these wars, that are. But then we have this apocalyptic scenario, maybe to atomic bombs. Who
Mm,
knows?
mm,
Then you have the real reset.
yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, Nicholas, the problem is that the virus is in our operating system. Unfortunately, there are people out there who still believe they're features.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So taking Win Together, down a level maybe to practical. How does Win Together play out in our business?
Well, very practical in many ways. I said that today we have onboarded this week two new people. I'm very thankful and super excited about these new two people. They have joined us as a company in the area of partner management and direct sales. But I spoke with them recently, an hour ago, and told them about our core principles that we follow, and that the win together is something that we really beyond the product even want to enlarge and bring to our customers. And I said to them, what I always say to my customers, and I had this beautiful talk this morning with one of our customers who got an invoice, and he called me, and I could not be reached. And so a little bit later, I called him back, and then he said to me, no, I want basically not a 1 year contract. I sent already some money over. I want to have a 2 year contract, and I'm confused about the numbers. And I told him we had this inflation because he had 2 year before, and he said, "Oh, fine, I understand that. I also want to earn money with my customers. So I understand that you need to cover your costs because you need to cover your cost as I need to cover my cost." And in that moment, he said, "Everything is fine. Just write me that with the 2 year contract, and I will next week immediately pay you." And it was this typical experience of appreciation,
Yeah,
honesty, and winning together. And in that moment, I realized, hey, this is not theoretically something. This is very practical.
yeah,
So what does it mean in some areas when I speak to salespeople or to our sales team or to others? I say we have to learn that a very good deal in some form, this is sales related right now
yeah.
because win together is even way beyond
Sure,
sales, yeah, are a very good deal in some form hurts a little bit both sides,
sure.
not too much on one side, because then you try or in some form to get back what you lost. Yeah, you try in some form and saying, "Hey, this guy screwed me.
Yeah,
Hey, I paid for this installation or double than other costs. Or next time when he's coming, I will
yeah,
squeeze him out like a lemon." And then it starts. You see, then it starts. The communication is corrupt. The emotional relationship is not any longer correct. Or you try. Or you see, then then
mm,
you have something that is not any longer working efficiently.
yeah, yeah. You've set up a conflict, an inherent conflict,
An
and
internal conflict,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Uh, and it's really interesting because you said obviously this is business. It goes beyond that, but it is a very very fundamental, even in business, for people to relook at this situation and to go and to put themselves in the shoes of the other person and to go, okay, what does fairness really look like? Because I think at the end of the day, that's all that people really crave, is a sense of fairness.
Yes, absolutely. But let's be honest, our people want fairness for themselves.
That's true. Yeah,
Fairness for themselves, but then they screw the others.
yeah,
but but in the moment when they got screwed, they are angry, but they screw others. Yeah.
yeah.
So I think it comes always back to the golden rule. Yeah, it's so funny. It always comes back to the golden rule, and our and uh, I don't know why we have walked so far away from that. We are so we really need a reset. Or
Yeah, and I presume by the golden rule you mean treat others as you'd like to be treated.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
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 So
No, no, I know you, but no, there
I
was,
assumed that everybody knew that.
yeah, no, I think they did, but I mean, I just wanted to say that because you're right, because we've strayed so far away from that concept, and then we get real upset when somebody does something to us, but we forget about the times we've done it to them or to other people like that. And so, and whatever you call it, karma, whatever, but these things tend to come back on you. And when these things come back on you, you need to ask yourself, why is this boomerang coming back to hit me in the head all the time?
Yeah. Wow. This is like everything. Or think about the relationships that we have to our spouses or to
Sure.
our friends or to our girlfriend, whatever you have. Yeah. But if you always want that she's treating you nice, how much you treat her nice or her, him, whatever. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so it starts there. Yeah. It starts in the little things. It starts not, and you see, everything starts in the little things. And this is why I'm so excited, or not to make a marketing statement here right now about our company, but really, I feel that it's really a powerhouse right now. Why? Because we have common sense brought to the company. Common sense, yeah, in so many ways. And even if we are living in our company in a form of our, because we are not in an office, we are worldwide
Mhm.
operating with different kinds of teams, and we're in so many virtual. We have learned these lessons to heart experiences. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of people they screwed up, all right? But we are luckily have eliminated that and said, no, I don't want it anymore. You see, I think it starts all with healthy boundaries.
Mm.
I got screwed very often because I said not stop.
Yeah.
Why you treat me like this?
Right. Right.
And you can do that to a customer. When a customer, let's not speak too much on the
Yeah.
private, on the business side. Yeah. When a customer is especially very nasty to you, why you don't why you're not articulating that? You can say, hey, or I want to be showing you my product, I want to do this, you want something that I cannot deliver right now, or and you send nice strict boundaries. This is how it works, this is how you should behave, this is you cannot say that to me. Or yeah, if you punch him also, then sure, then you have a conflict. Yeah, but it doesn't lead to anything.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's again, it's a trait today of avoidance, right? It's as you said, like not setting boundaries, but avoiding the tough conversations, or to say, and it doesn't have to, and the thing is, it doesn't have to be a conflict if you're calm and reasonable and you just say, "Excuse me." I'll give you an example, Nicholas. You know my wife, right? We were in a restaurant recently, and with those buzzer things they give you, and the buzzer sounded, so she went up to the front, and the woman behind the desk goes, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah." And there was this other woman waiting to get, and she turned around and snapped at my wife, said, You're the second person who's jumped ahead of me." And my wife really calmly just looked at her and goes, "Why are you getting angry at me? This isn't, I didn't do anything. I was called for the buzzer and she signaled to me. I'm sorry. That's terrible that you've been passed over twice, but that's not my fault. So why are you getting angry at me?" And the woman suddenly, she was like, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. No, I was just," and she goes, "I understand completely." Totally diffused the situation. But you know what I mean? It's that thing. It's like we're so fast to react.
But here comes the point. This is a very good example. I like that, or because you see, our win together is based on a concept, in my opinion, where you are secure in yourself or you
Hmm.
know who you are. The problem is so many people are so insecure in themselves, therefore they are building something around them, either on a or on a side where it's basically uh, a wall
Hmm. Yeah.
around, yeah, where you cannot reach them because they are so insecure, and so they build something up. Yeah. um, in the moment when you are feeling or basically who you are, when you know who you are, yeah, you can operate from a appointment of strength.
Yeah.
And I think as a in business, you should have the strengths about who you are,
Hmm.
who the product you sell, you believe in the
Yeah.
product, you know about the product, you know about the process, you know how to communicate, you know everything, and then you can operate out of a internal or insight of knowing, okay, I we don't want to push anything on anyone. Yeah, we
Mhm.
have something to offer. This is service. Yeah, and so in that moment, people probably would better react to you and to the
Yeah,
situation and everything, and therefore, so many are people operating out of their insecurity.
yeah. No, I would very much agree with that, and I think that's a uh, so it comes down then to personal choice at the end of the day, because you have control over your own decisions, right? So if you are selling a product you don't believe in, if you are like I said, if you're selling a product you don't believe in, you have a choice there, right? You have a choice to say, no, I want to go and find something that I can truly believe in. Because if you're selling something you don't believe in, you're immediately inauthentic to begin with, right? And you're basically going to be pushing something that you don't believe in, and that is going to make you very defensive from the get-go.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, and it makes you also are you defend your insecurity on one hand, and are there are so many that are miserable.
Hmm.
They always try in their miserability or to blame someone else.
Yeah.
It's either it's the company, my manager, he's an asshole, or he's always treating me, or there is maybe the product, or this thing is missing. Yeah, if this thing is not, or it's a little thing, but this is really harming me. If this would not be, you see, you always find some excuses, and then at the end, you have no joy. You're not happy. You're not in any shape or form are doing what you should do,
Mhm.
well, then change the job. Find
Yeah.
something that makes your life better. Because you see, at the end, or so many people do things that they don't want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
They change it. You see, this all starts with a form of taking the responsibility, self,
Yes.
and we have forgotten that.
Mhm.
People feel always are, oh, someone is not, I'm not responsible. No, it's right now in the Palisades. No, it's not the government. No, it was another department because they had not enough water in that, or and whack. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. No,
everybody's right now pushing someone else button and saying the other is its fault. Yeah, nobody's
yeah.
nobody. Yeah?
Yeah, no, I think the personal accountability piece is massive. If we could return to where people realize at the end of the day that they are responsible. I mean, things happen to people, but ultimately you are responsible for your own life and the things that occur, good or bad. It's a hard lesson to learn sometimes when you have to take accountability for your own mistakes. Uh, but unless we get back to that, it's going to be incredibly difficult for people, to get to what we're talking about, to get to win-win, to get to a place of where you can have some, you can be calm with your customers, right? I mean, you can, when your customer calls, I mean, look at it, Nicholas, and I think this is something that people should know is like, when people call our support desk, right? In a lot of organizations, you see customer pops up on the call. They're all going, "Oh no! Oh, what's going? Oh no!" And they immediately, get defensive about what they're going to do. We welcome that because we service our customers. We want to learn from them. We want to know what we can do better. We want to help advise them. So it's a very different attitude and a very different philosophical approach, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% are in that area.
Mm,
And not only that, are the responsibility starts with the little things. Yeah, it's our it if you see something and you don't act on that, I think you violate that.
yeah, I would agree.
You see, when you see something and you see it, okay, if you don't see it, different, okay? If
Mm,
you don't see it, yeah. But if you see something and there is something you can do and you don't act, you violate a principle. And this is
mm.
what happens every day. We just overlook that and we push it away. And this is the problem that we are constantly seeing in society. And the same is in our company. You see, people think our society is different in the company. It's all the same.
Oh, it's all the same. Yeah, yeah. We have this strange. That's always kind of cracks me up. Is you know, when you're sitting at home, the phone rings and it's somebody trying to sell you something, right? And you're like, ugh, and you're really aggravated by the way they do it. Then you walk across the threshold of your business the next day, whether it's a physical or virtual, and you get on the phone, you start selling, and you start doing the same thing to other people. And it's like, it's almost schizophrenic. You don't like it when it's done to you, but you're happy to do it to other people. And that's the part that has to change.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You see, leadership are in that area are win together. If we come
Mhm.
back to this,
Yeah.
yeah, are at the end of the day, it starts with the fish things from the head. So that
Mhm.
means leadership has to take the responsibility. Yeah, and this form of responsibility is you have to acknowledge when you do something wrong publicly. You have
Mhm.
to, or you have to say that you have to apologize, but not in these words like
Yeah.
I hate that as a European. Forgive me, Americans, yeah, whoever listened to that. I apologize already. But when you call someone and it's typical saying on the phone, "Oh, we apologize," but this is a phrase.
Yeah.
This
Yeah. Yeah.
has
Yeah.
no meaning. Has no meaning. Yeah, we have okay. When you say if you apologize right now, what does it mean for me?
Yeah. Yeah. And
If
and and what exactly are you apologizing for?
or exactly, yeah,
Is that just because you know it's a customer service call that
yeah,
you answer everything with "I apologize"?
yeah. And you see, you win together. Also, this is an interesting one. Win together doesn't mean or that you give up your position,
Yeah.
because you see, it could be that the customer comes back and say, "Oh, we win together." That means you have to do what I tell you.
Yeah. No. No,
That
that's
is not win together.
no.
Because you see, I have a contract, and when you violate the contract and you want something from us, yeah, and you violate the contract, win together doesn't mean that I have right now to forget my contract. That is not, you see, the point is win together means we can compromise. If someone calls us and say, "Hey, I have done something that is not correct from a contract point of view, and I apologize for that, but this is the reason why I did that. I forgot that, or whatever. There's a renewal, and they forgot or to cancel maybe some licenses, and they come and they explain to us. We would not say, "Oh no, we are nasty. We do that."
Yeah.
We would say, "Hey, uh, we have here are a contract, you got maybe 5 6 warnings, and you
Mhm.
have violated that, and then after the seventh warning you are just coming back and say, 'No, I want to change everything.' Come on, let's be honest. But if you're at the beginning of the process, come, it's like I screw someone, and after the eighth time he's saying, 'Oh, I'm so sorry I did that to you.' Come on.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, exactly. One thing I just wanted to circle back on, Nicholas, because I think this is really important and something that you talk about a lot, is we see companies, win together is something that we really embrace and operationalize in our daily work practices and hopefully our lives too. Uh, but there's a lot of companies who stick their values up on their website and they always sound lovely and all of that and it sounds fantastic, but they don't live it out. Would you talk to a little bit about values and principles versus principles?
Yeah. Uh, that's so funny because there was a whole movement 20 years ago or more. It started with the social responsibility in this company, and they had
Mhm.
departments and they had evaluation and everything, and there was document created with beautiful flyers and our websites and everything about how responsible we are. And at the end of the day, nothing of that has ever really be put into practice, in the real practice of the things, because um, principles you cannot violate. You can try that, yeah, but then you will see the result. Yeah, we
Mhm.
saw that right now this week. There is a principle that fire is stronger than anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Uh, or maybe they should have not cut the budget.
Mhm. Yeah.
Cutting the budget was probably not the best and smartest idea in a city where you have constantly fire in California. Yeah, we had recently a fire in Malibu. How you
Yeah.
can cut the budget. Yeah, so how stupid you are. Or sorry to be here a little bit political, but in my opinion, this is like you want to be a leader in, let's say, in a technology company like ours, and you cut the budget of the technicians. Yeah. And then your and then your competitor is bypassing you by 200 miles.
Yeah,
And
no,
it makes no sense.
exactly, exactly. It's
Principles cannot be violated. Yeah, and there's many principles are, and the principle you have to follow. And I think the principles you can prove. It's proven if you violate the
Mhm.
principle. And we have these beautiful value statements. Yeah,
Yep.
that nobody can really in some form or verify if you live that in the company. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
so so
yeah, and they're very and values are subjective
values are very subject and contextualized.
and contextualized, exactly, yeah.
As you see, it could be that the value is a little bit different in Africa than are in South America or in Europe or in the US. And so
Mhm.
a principle is everywhere the same. You have to apply it. And so we follow clear principles. And one of the principles is, for instance, our contribution to the whole.
Yeah,
Everyone is contributing to something. Yeah. Why? Because we win together doesn't mean it's not only for the customer win together, it does mean also we together have to
yeah,
win as a
yeah,
team.
as a
Yeah,
team.
as a
Mhm.
team. Think about it. I don't know anyone who can do something alone today. No,
No, no, it's impossible. It's impossible.
but
Regardless,
where we learn that, where we learn that,
yeah, we don't.
because you see, where we learn really to work together, to communicate, to be in some form are decent, yeah, in
Mhm.
our and learning these skills that we can work together. And when you sometimes work with people, you feel like always it's like, or how you call that, or it feels like
Oh, a little constricted.
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. And then I don't want to work with this guy. He's so, no, it's also chemically,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, no, absolutely. Yeah, you're 100% correct. I mean, that's what people overlook sometimes is that, you have emotional reactions and you have also physiological reactions. And in fact, your physiological and your physical reactions will often tell you what's going on in your head
Yes.
rather than the other way around. But yeah, so one of the other things that I think I like to think that is different about us. I was going to say unique, but maybe there are other companies who do what we do and particularly in the
Oh,
SaaS.
we are totally unique. We are
Yeah,
totally
in the SaaS business. But let's face it, over the last like 10 years or so, whatever, SaaS businesses decided, and I don't know why they did this, decided that they're going to be as hands off as possible with customers and consumers, and they're going to put up a wall between you. I mean, we use SaaS products. You never hear from them. They never, they basically, maybe if you contacted their customer support, you might, after getting through their chatbot, and you might get to somebody eventually once you're totally frustrated. But that's been such a short-sighted approach. That's almost like using technology in the wrong way. Your SaaS product may be great, but your approach to your customer is completely wrong.
ah. We can talk about that for hours because no, really, honestly, because here is our the customer is not valued as a customer.
Yes.
He's just here as a moneymaker for fulfilling their numbers
Mhm.
to reach their growth rates
Yeah.
of investors. Yeah, you are you're not important. There's no win-win. There is nothing there. We had, I'm not naming the company, or a different kind of solution in our company. We had a lot of licenses for 6 7 years. We paid this vendor ten thousands of dollars, and then we switched. We I tried a little bit to speak with them. They were not even interested. Even ten thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
because they are believing right now hundred thousands of dollars is probably uh, the only part where they get interested in you. And so never ever. I have received one call from them why you have left. I have never any contact or what was the reason or anything.
Mhm.
Nobody. I was a number. Okay, gone. Boom. Yeah. So that is, isn't that a pattern?
Oh, yeah.
That is a pattern. And this pattern is basically lived in the company. So it's not only on one area, it's probably in all areas. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that means what they signal is you are not important. We don't need you.
Yeah. Or yeah, and it comes from that whole idea of, well, maybe you're a small customer in their eyes, and then they just could have, well, small customers don't count. But for you, I mean, there's business out there for you, maybe a huge expense, right? That you're in relative terms in your organization, and you don't feel like a small customer because you're paying out a lot of money in your eyes, but they treat you like you don't matter, that you're small. And this idea of, yes, obviously there are different levels of customers. Bigger customers need different levels of support, but just the basic respect for
Oh,
somebody who's giving you
absolutely.
money. Somebody who's giving you money. It doesn't matter if they've given you $1 or they've given you $1,000,000.
And you see today through technology, it's so easy to do that. Or that doesn't mean
Mhm.
are we as pipeline are not making mistakes. I have
Sure,
to say,
no, of course, yeah.
whoever listens to that and they say, "Oh, you have done this," yeah,
Mhm.
okay, we
Sure.
have probably also not always behaved or have done something, or we are learning. And please, or I will apologize if someone has listened to that and said, I am more than willing to change everything on the policy side because we are constantly optimizing. By the way, I don't know if you know that, John. We had not only, as you know, we have our per year more than 10 to 12 releases per year
Mhm.
uh, to our customers, but we have internally about last year, and this is almost every year, 3,500 issues solved. 3,500 changes. So when a company like us is growing and rapidly changing, so you have constantly to optimize the processes. So there can be mistakes,
Sure.
but when there's a mistake, the question is how you respond to this mistake. And I have no problem to call someone and say, I apologize, I'm sorry, and I mean it, or
Mhm.
how we can find a way. Do you need an extra hour? Can we support you with our an extra training? Can we give you maybe an upgrade for free? We try to accommodate our issues, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think then you feel valued, you feel
Yeah.
you feel okay, because we all make mistake.
Mhm.
Yeah? Come
Sure.
on, let's be honest.
I have made an occasional one. I can't recall, but there you go.
That's why I never try to call you. I'm fearful about. No, just kidding.
No, no, I totally agree, and it's a sad approach, to be perfectly honest, because it is almost like saying, having somebody, pay a ticket to come into your venue and then just slapping them across the face and kicking them out the back door, saying thanks for the money, but we don't really want you here.
Yeah, yeah, no.
Mm.
The business, you see, the business models in the SaaS business has to change too. Yeah,
Mhm.
because I understand, from our technology point of view, there are solutions, and we are a different kind of solution because we are not a solution that is one time installed and then it runs. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
I understand that. I'm not expecting a big apologizing or effort or from Amazon when they deliver something. Yeah, or I know it's B2C, and some of these products are really, you install them and they and there is no interaction. But when it comes to products where there is some form of interaction, where you really talk to people, yeah, then you should behave like there is a relationship.
Mhm.
Not a relationship, then there is something wrong. Yeah. And I think there is a danger that is right now appearing to the AI. And as you know, we are a full speed AI.
Yeah.
We try everything. Yeah. But AI, as I always said, is just Donna. And who is Donna? Donna is the lady, the assistant of Harvey in Harvey Specter in the beautiful series that I loved, Suits, 10 years ago, but it was a great series. And Donna knew everything, but she was not taking the decision for Harvey. She was just preparing everything, and Harvey made the decision based on the knowledge of Donna. And
Mhm.
so we need Donna in every area to make the decision, but we are the people who make the responsible decisions, and we have to live it, and we have to take either credit, or we have to apologize for that,
Mhm.
whatever happened. Yeah. And I
And
think,
there is a danger, right? Because there is a real danger that people use AI to make this situation even worse that we've talked about now.
oh,
Just stick AI in the front, and now you suddenly, oh, I think I'm engaging, but I'm not really, and I end up more frustrated again.
oh, they will use it definitely, or to go the easy road, because you
Hmm.
see, people want to bypass. They feel entitled, many people, and then also to bypass responsibility. But you
Yeah.
see, when someone starts in our company, the first thing is, behave like an adult. No, really, it's the first thing that I'm asking the person. Behave like an adult. What is an adult? An adult is not blaming anyone else. Or he's calling you or me or anyone in the company when there's a problem, or the right person, and don't blame others, and don't behave like a kid. Because
Mm.
a kid is a kid, and I respect that, and we have to help the kids to become adults. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Right now we have too many kids running around. Yeah.
Mhm. And kids don't naturally understand win-win, right? Because let's face it, as when you're small and you're growing up, everything is basically just a black and white situation. I win, or I don't win, and I get what I want or I don't. And you're right. That's part of the maturing process, and hopefully that's what we guide our children to be like. But you're correct. I mean, if people adopted an adult approach, and unfortunately with social media and all these other things, Nicholas, is we're seeing a lot of dumbing down where it's almost like acting like a kid and acting casual and is celebrated, as opposed to, well, that's fine. Express your personality however you want, but first of all, be an adult.
Yeah, be an adult. And you I remember quite well how hard it is to learn and model to your kid that, it's mine, it's
Yeah,
mine. No, it's not yours. Grab
yeah,
it from someone else. No, I want that. Yeah. So it's a process to learn. But you see, when you work in a company, you would expect that someone is are in some form really behaving like an adult.
yeah.
Yeah. And are but that's not the case. And so sometimes it seems in some companies that you have to have even a program to bring them to some form of decent,
A
decent.
maturity program.
Yeah.
We're going to put you into maturity training. I,
That,
I, I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah, but there you see, you win together is a concept that starts with some two people, first of all, to be honest to each other.
Mhm.
When you have a customer who is never honest to you because he's using you, that are and this is so old, you see, this concept goes back thousands of years, because even in the Old Testament you have already the warning for the seller and also for the buyer. The
Mm.
seller should not cheat with are basically the weights, yeah, because
Yeah.
you, yeah, are, and the buyer should not cheat in the form that he should tell you, oh, it's so good or it's so bad, and then he goes out and he tells the others, I screw him because I got this better price. You see, the warning is to both people since thousands of years, and everything is about trade. Trade is the basis of our society. This is why we have these trade conflicts right now, and we could talk about that. But the point is, in a trade agreement, when you have both parties and they want win together, it cannot be that one part is more winning than the other part, and therefore we have to rethink that. But right now, even if you want to address this issue, there is easily opposition, because the people say, no, no, it's untouchable. But you see,
Mhm.
if we want to go further in society, we have to have this concept. Win together doesn't mean one side can win and the other is losing. Then one day there will be a conflict, and
Yeah.
this is what's happening right now everywhere.
Yeah, and in the and as we see in conflicts, I mean, there is, yes, there are victors and there's the vanquished, but there's no real winners in a conflict at the end of the day. The other thing, just to come back on there, something you mentioned, because I think it's a really, really important one as well, is the idea of role modeling and modeling behavior. Because I've had this conversation with lots of people where I always say to them, you can tell people what to do, you can tell them how to act, you can do all of this, but at the end of the day, they're going to look at how you operate. And when you operate in the right manner, then they will follow you and they will say, okay, this person really means it. So the actually living the behaviors is what really counts, and modeling the behavior is what really counts. Not what you say, not what you tell people, but how you actually operate every day, and that's where people take their cues from.
Absolutely, 100%. And
Mhm.
it boils down then also in some form of contracts.
Yeah.
I give you an example. We have one of our customers are that started so cheap, and they realized it became the core system of their company. And I spoke with them and I said, it's unsustainable. We have tried that, or we have to come to agreement, because there's a mismatch between what is the reality you use and this. But they said, well, we cannot go jump from one. And they said, okay, I understand that. So let's per year increase incrementally together. And we made a fair contract. Yeah. And the policies that we bring into life is a form that we have to live, but with
Mhm.
the policies are already, the rules already screwed up, yeah, then the system is screwing you down, yeah. And
Mhm.
I think we have wrong policies right now, and everything starts with these policies, and to change these policies and to change these rules is the basis of our working together and having a win together. If
Mhm.
policies are not there, wow, then I don't know, it will not work.
No.
And we see that, yeah. So
Mhm.
why is everything so absolutely insane? It looks like it's really insane in our society,
Mhm.
and the people feel that. But so many people are sad, and when I speak about that with real customers, I have the feeling everybody feels relieved. Oh yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important point, maybe to round out this part of the discussion, Nicholas, is that uh, what you're talking about, here is basically having the confidence and the knowledge and the respect to be able to engage with people, properly. And there is and the win together philosophy has a real impact. And I think you should just tell people, we have loyal customers for so many years. The feedback we get from our customers is, and I'm not just boasting, this is real. You go call our customers if you want to. But it is because a lot of it comes down to the way we have interacted with them, and the way, the contract renewals, even price increase, anything like that. We've done it in a way where we have tried as much as possible to put ourselves in their shoes and say, how do we come up with a solution that works for all of us, not just announcing a blanket price increase, which a lot of companies just do, and say, oh, sorry, conditions have changed, we're increasing the price, never engaging with the actual customers. So I think if you want loyal customers, if you want long-term customers, if you want customers who are happy and are going to turn into not just happy customers but advocates for you, then win together. I would absolutely recommend that you look at a win together philosophy.
Yeah. You see, John, or it starts when you want to have long-term customers, you have to have long-term employees.
That's a good point. Good point. That's a very good point.
Because you see, if you're constantly changing the people, and every other day you are talking to someone else, or how you can have the philosophy and want to have long-term customers when you are not even a long-term employer. Yeah?
Yeah.
And I think it starts there, because you see, that was the basis. I always liked, you remember the Waltons?
The
When
Waltons, yeah, of course.
When I grew up, one of the series in Vienna when I grew up, was at that time there was not so many series, but the most were from the US, and I liked them. I really liked a lot of them. We could talk about Kojak.
Oh, Kojak.
Oh, Kojak was
So
fantastic.
great.
Manhattan,
I
Man,
I had the Kojak board game.
and then I loved definitely the streets of San Francisco.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
God,
yeah.
Carl Malden, I never forget his nose.
Yeah, Karl Malden. Karl
But
Malden and Michael Douglas.
and Michael Douglas, yeah, they were fantastic. These both, and I tried it. And one of them was Walton, yeah.
Mhm.
And I liked so much the concept because you see, they knew every customer by name. They
Mm,
knew their family. They knew about what they liked, what they loved, what they need. They came in, they spoke a little bit. This concept seems to me like a community.
yes.
Who wants to live in isolation? Who wants to
Mhm.
live alone? Who wants to live or that nobody knows you and nobody cares about you? Nobody is are interested about who you are and what you do. And the same is about our this is where we have to go back in some form. I
Yeah,
know our this is then you have to when you have a lot of customers, you have to break it down. You
yeah,
have to break it down to the people who can talk to that. So it's not it can be done on a personal level. Yeah, and I think this concept we totally forgot, or that real relationship counts.
yeah.
When
And
you
you and you and you know, and you're 100% correct about the long-term employees because let's face it, I mean, I have some services that I use, and I never talk to they never talk to me, but I get a notice every 6 months telling me I have a new customer success manager, and they say and they, and they say, somebody who I've never talked to tells me, "I'm handing you over to this person." I'm going, "Great, that's another person who's never gonna talk to me either." But to your point, every 6 months, they're turning over their people.
yeah, absolutely. You know, this is the interesting thing when you go to private banking, for instance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
When a private banker is leaving a bank, he is almost taking all his customers with him because
Yeah, it's a
they
relationship.
yeah, this is oh, that's so true. I can
Yeah.
give you a lot of examples. Yeah. People are just walking with them because they know, oh, this is the person who knows me.
Mhm.
See, the products in that area are very similar. I'm not saying
Mm,
equal, but similar. Yeah. So
mm.
they walk to the person they trust.
Yeah.
Trust. Yeah. And so this is what we need to build. And at the end, in this world where we are in some form isolated, we need this outreach to real people. We
Mhm.
need to have this contact, and there you need to win. Otherwise, if that is not winning, why you want to have a relationship with them
Yeah.
if I'm always losing?
Yeah, yeah. Or and again, and if I'm always exploiting the other person, I'm not gonna have very many relationships.
Exactly. No, exactly. No, absolutely. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, so we are in critical times, and it's really serious. It is in a we as a society or in everything we are on a crossroad. We see with the fire in the Palisades and the fire in whole. It's not only the Palisades; it's in other parts in Los Angeles. It's always are equally devastating. We see the damages to these lives of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and I don't know how this will work out. It's a mystery in itself. I hope there will be responsible, intelligent people coming in and making decision, and not are some stupid politicians.
mm,
I hope so that there will be here a rethinking of everything, but and taking responsibility. But
mm.
um, we see there must be a change
Yeah,
because it can affect so fast. I'm not saying this was our only human error, but there was human error.
sure.
That is absolutely 100% there were
Mhm,
human error. Definitely, the wind was there, but we cannot say, "Oh, the wind was only the
mhm.
problem." Yeah.
Yeah,
And and I think all these failures affecting today thousands and thousands of people's life.
yeah. And what at the end of the day really gets people is at a time like this if somebody stands up and says, yes, we made mistakes, we will address these mistakes once we've got this over, but yes, we're responsible, we made some mistakes, instead of you see people trying to use, word salads and stuff to basically sort of say, well, it's not really my fault and I'm not really taking responsibility, it's kind of over there, or it's kind of nature. I mean, that's what really frustrates people, because you just want people to be honest with you. And as you said, to err is human. We're all flawed people. We make, and sometimes maybe we make stupid decisions. Uh, but just own up to them and own them, and then you will gain the trust of people.
We
Try to deflect everything, you'll never get any trust.
Yeah, I'm leaning out a little bit right now. We will see if it goes well. Yeah, but I have to say that because I saw that. You see, when someone is really hurt, when someone is really losing something that is important to them, and you just stand there and give a nice talk about what you will
Yeah,
do,
yeah,
then you have no form of a relationship or empathy. I'm not speaking of compassion, what
yeah.
is much deeper, what it would be needed. Yeah. And when the person doesn't feel that, then you're just saying anything. There is no win-win,
Hmm.
win-lose. Yeah. And this is unsustainable. It is
Yeah.
unsustainable. Our concept of win together is a real answer. People want, first of all, peace,
Hmm.
because only peace brings prosperity. Only peace can bring
Yeah,
prosperity. And people need joy in their life. Who wants to hang out with people they're miserable? Would
yeah.
you go with someone for a beer in a bar when he's the whole time, oh, I'm blaming that, blaming that? Who wants to hang out with these
Yeah,
kind of people? Yeah.
absolutely.
No, no, really, honestly.
No,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
And we want fairness,
Yeah,
fairness in our life. And I think that's basically what we try, but I think we're getting better and better
yeah,
to
yeah.
try this world as pipeline to go out and say we want to be fair, we want all to have joy in the area, joy about the product they use, joy about or when our service is coming, that you are happy about that, we solve the issues. And we want peace, because then when you grow, we grow, and prosperity is coming, and that is what it's all about. Yeah.
Mhm.
Therefore, win together is a holistic solution or a holistic concept that is not only on sales, it's in every part. And so I'm thrilled about that. And I 100% believe we're on the right course. We have to go out, and I hope a lot of more people will not only use our product, yeah, are happy if you have others, but take the concept at
Yeah,
least.
yeah, yeah, exactly. The concept is free. There you go. We're giving it to you free. This is, you don't have to, we're not going to suddenly say at the end, well, we're going to sell you a Win Together course now, or consulting on Win Together. No, it's a concept. And Nicholas has explained it beautifully here. So go ahead, take this and implement it, because it'll make such a difference. Because the other thing is, and we'll talk more about this next time, we created a concept called network selling a number of years back, and one of the core components of it is enjoyable. So if it's Win Together, everybody, it should be enjoyable for both. Purchasing and selling should actually be a joyful experience, and that obviously runs contrary to what a lot of people's concepts of this is. And so we'll talk more about that. But if you do it, if you adopt Win Together, you can actually reach a point where it's actually your negotiations can be enjoyable. Who ever heard that? Have you ever had fun and enjoyable negotiations? Like, that's a rarity, isn't it?
That's a great concept. We
Yeah,
need that. We need that.
yeah.
I want to extend all the people there listen to that, and maybe they are affected in any shape or form of our this terrible fires are in Los Angeles. I'm deeply affected and are really heartbroken. What happened to so many friends and family that lost everything, and therefore we know exactly what it means that when someone is losing everything, it needs
Mhm.
to win.
Yeah.
And wherever we as a company can do something, we were thinking a little bit to contribute in some areas, but basically are this is a reset, and I hope we all are resetting our values, our principles, and everything in an area it's so needed. And so I hope you are not seeing that as a nice marketing talk. It's not.
No.
It's lived. It's really suffered through that to come to this conclusion out of my own mistakes in my life. And I know only when we win together we can get up in the morning and have joy in our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, like I said, we're this is a series. We'll see you next time, where we're going to continue to dive in depth into some subjects that we feel are very important to share with you all, and we look forward to your feedback. We look forward to maybe you have win-win experiences that you want to share. Whatever, we always love to hear from you, and we like to think that this is something that we can put out there and it can spread, and that one day everybody will be winning together.
Thank you, guys.